Oh, that show's great. I
I'm
like
getting
that show
really
a
into
lot.
these shows that are just like chaos porn almost, where it's like 60 Days In, Intervention, Hoarders. Hoarders, it's the creme de la creme of those in some
Seen
ways
them
because they
all.
get so good. Well, Hoarders can be different. You can get that one lady that has nothing but bags of cat shit and human feces at the top of her stairs, and then there's the other like kind of people where it's like they're just way too into records,
Yeah.
and it's like organized, but it's just controlled chaos,
Yeah.
and it's way better when it's the cat shit people. Way
Yeah,
better.
I agree. Like some of those people, it's like, wait a minute, if you just sent those guys from the History Channel, like the pickers over here, they'd be delighted, right? Like he's just got a lot of Star Wars figurines laying everywhere. But then you go across town and there's a lady who's literally living in dead animals and human excrement. And they start pulling out the cat skeletons one by one.
Yeah, they find so many dead cats. You know what? There are no hoarders with dogs. I've found.
No, the dogs are.
It is a cat thing.
There was a
Yeah, it's
hoarder 2 doors down from me when we moved into our Ocean City house. Our next door neighbors were, well, one was like a motel and the other was a regular person, and then a hoarder. And that house was like, it was the worst of the worst hoarders. They eventually
Could you smell it?
the seam of the house broke open from the pressure of the contents inside.
Jesus.
It popped.
Yeah, that's how 12-year-old Woody got in, and we went like.
It's also how he got syphilis. Well, for the first time.
The like it like burst. That's how I remember it anyway. I think I'm right on that. And it was just like we walked in. And I couldn't believe that people lived that way. There were paths inside the house to like get from room to room, and even those paths weren't always clear. Like you had to step over grocery bags and stuff like that. It's like they started encroaching on the path space, and it wasn't organized, and it was junk, like junk, boxes full of nonsense, maybe old clothes, rotting food, like broken furniture, like things that had no value. But I guess they thought, oh, I might need 2/3 of a bed rail someday.
It's
keep
a
this
sickness.
around until I
It's some
need
sort
it.
of weird psychological upset. Jim Norton had a really funny line in some old O&A where he was pretending to be the hoarder. He's like, "Oh, I didn't expect you. Can you give me a decade?"
The house was 3 stories tall. Like it was a pretty good size home, and every story was like that all the way up. The stairs were treacherous to climb, and just like I don't know, it was like a garbage dump inside a house, and it was insane.
It's crazy. Like, and I'm sure it was like this too, where when the piles of things become so large, they start decomposing, and then it's no longer even, you can't even differentiate what the pile used to be.
They
It's
melt.
just a now like melting pile of decomposing shit.
Yeah, shit melts together. Yeah.
Not like literal shit necessarily, but like even like newspapers
Some-
and all this pulpy stuff. Yeah, there's lots of literal shit too, depending on the number of cats or like,
Dude,
or if they're like pooping all over.
Those
the floor.
people who can't like figure out what to do with their own shit, it's like this isn't a home anymore. This is a dump. Like I can't imagine a world in which I no longer have a place to shit in my home. Like can you like I just can't imagine like
I'd go outside.
I would go outside.
I'd rather be
like-
camping than live in a dump.
Like if my toilet broke and it was like emergency shit time, there's woods behind my house and I'm going into them to shit. And if that short of that, if it's broad daylight and the neighbors are out playing football, I'm gonna poop in a bucket or something. And then that bucket's going in the woods. Like there's no circumstance in which I just like continue shitting into the toilet that doesn't work anymore, wiping my ass, and then taking the shitty toilet paper and adding it to the pile of other shitty toilet paper. And that's what they do.
The only people who liked that hoarder were the garbage men, because guaranteed she didn't put anything on that curb for over a decade.
Yeah.
Just all of it kept in the house.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was one of the episodes where it got condemned, and it was like,
She was
no,
crying.
we have to burn your house down because it's so dangerous. You've endangered everyone. That's where COVID started. Is what we're gonna find out. But yeah, a lot of the time, like, it's rare, but sometimes it's like with like that show, My 600-Pound Life. So often, and that Indian doctor, Dr. Now, speaker of truth, such one of my idols. Love that guy. But it is refreshing in like 1 out of 10 episodes where someone will come back in And the guy will be like, Tim, I am so proud of what you've done here. You've lost even more money or more weight than we were thinking. It's like, yeah, Tim, hell yeah, dude. Because it's a nice, you know what I mean, Kyle? Like, I know you've watched a lot of that show also. I don't know if you have, Woody, but like, and the reason that's satisfying is because 9 times out of 10, they will come back in, they will lie to his face about, I've only been eating 800 calories a day and somehow I'm putting on more weight. Have you ever considered that it's not the food that's doing it? Have you ever considered that, doctor? Are you so wrapped up in your science that you can't? And whereas like some mealy-mouthed white doctor might be like, well, you know, there are a lot of ancillary things that could happen. He's like, no, it's the food. It's the food. You're eating too much. Don't lie to me. Don't waste my time. And he'll just like leave. He's like, I'm too busy. I'm too busy for your shit. I got a bunch of other hippos in other rooms to go inspect. And so that show's great. 1,000-Pound Sisters. That's another good one. I've only watched a little bit of that, but those gals are so big that they've begun storing fat in their foreheads and they're losing their sight.
Oh,
Like their eyes, they didn't say that, but if you look at them, like they're
That makes sense.
Well, look at this.
Fun Taylor fact,
I need an image.
The entire continent of Asia can't see either.
Let me show you this, and you tell me that these bitches aren't slowly going blind. Especially the one on the left. The amount of forehead fat is encroaching on.
Oh no!
eye
Oh
fat.
no! Oh no! All right, look. The one on the right legitimately looks like Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars.
Yeah, and the one on the left.
And she's cross-eyed.
Wait, the picture I linked?
Well, you linked like Google.
Oh,
search.
I'm sorry. I meant to link this.
No, it's better this way. You get a like a.
Yeah, I've
like
been showing a bunch of them to people. I wonder,
Do
are
you-
these all the same people? This one looks Asian.
That's after she gained a little more weight.
I can't
See, that's a eye joke. There-
Oh, scroll down. There's a picture of her with her boyfriend, and that one. Is
Oh, he
showing
likes a
it-
big
that's-
booty.
Look at the eye thing that I'm talking about there.
Yeah, it's
That's
oh
very
my god.
apparent in
It's
that
like
one.
she's got a like right here. There's like a pocket of fluid, like right in the middle of the forehead, the size of like a coaster, a drink coaster.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that she's with a fit black man though, and I bet he like he's at work with his boys, and one guy's like, "Yeah, my girl got the biggest booty you ever seen," and the other one's like, "Nuh-uh, my girl got a donk," and he's just like, "Gentlemen, let me show you a photograph of my young lady."
Hey, yeah, can you throw her on the flatbed and swing her by the site?
God
is that?
damn.
Yeah, that's. So my joke wasn't entirely wrong. Looks like they're losing their sight
It looks like she's
We're-
going to lose her sight.
just from fat.
Well, she can't look
boyfriend
up for
one is
sure.
different.
If like a bird was coming down from above, she definitely doesn't have like that angle anymore.
No, and so I haven't watched enough of this show to know if it's that good. Probably not nearly as good as my 600-pound life because that
Did you
one's
mention
been around
48 the first 48 hours too?
longer. I haven't watched that. No.
Oh, I like that.
What-
We watched that a lot in prison, and we would critique the criminals.
What's the premise?
So you follow a law enforcement team. Usually it's maybe like one officer and his partner. I've seen a lot of episodes like that. And you begin right when a crime is committed. Like a murder. Like this lady, we just an episode I watched. This lady is found in her car. I want to say like her body's been burnt and she's
Mhm.
dead in the car. And they're like, "All right, clock's ticking." And the idea is that murders that aren't solved within the 48 hours, the first 48 hours, the solve rate it like really drops down. If you don't
Mhm.
catch the bad guy in the first 48 hours, then the odds of you catching him are greatly diminished at that point. And sure enough, like 2 days in, like they've got this guy and they're like, "We think it's him." And they bring him, he's like, they call him like, "Hey, we know you're not involved." Like winks at his body, like, "We know he's involved, but we know that you knew Michelle. We'd like you to come in. Like, maybe you saw some suspicious character she was hanging around with,
Mm.
like you. And maybe some violent men who were with her buying drugs like you were. So maybe you could come in and talk to us about it. He's like, yeah, sure. He comes into the interview room. He takes a selfie when they leave him alone in one of those Law and Order style interview rooms with the handcuffed table. Like he's chilling,
That's
having
pretty
a.
alpha.
When I saw that, I was like the prisoner next to me. I was like, no way this guy did it. Look at him. He's taking selfies of himself in the interrogation room. Nobody is that loose and like confident. I was wrong. He's just a fucking dumbass. He's the biggest dumbass ever. 12 hours later, they're locking his ass up on the street, dragging him away, and at the end the credits roll and it's like he was sentenced to 37 years in federal prison. And you're just like, God damn.
That's interesting that that's such a popular show in prison.
The
But I guess
48 hours thing I question though. Like, let me lay it out. I used to work in tech support, and the bosses had this thing. They're like, we were discovering that if the question isn't solved on the first call, that question's average lifespan is 5 days. And it's like, so they're like, we need to really focus on getting everything solved on the first call. Okay, genius. If a question's not solved on the first call, it's a hard one. That's why they're lasting so long. It's not like if a murder is not solved in the first 48 hours, it has fewer clues. It's not that something about the 48 hours is the primary reason they go.
Oh, sure, exactly.
It's that they're tougher ones to crack.
Of course.
Well, and probably like caseload stuff. Like
Yeah,
the longer it sits back there, the more.
What it
it's gonna
really
be
is that
pushed behind the
crimes
file.
that you can solve in the first 48 hours are easy ones.
Slam dunks or dunks.
Yeah.
What do they call
And
them?
based on The Wire, they're trying to get their clearance rates up, so they're not going to bother with the really difficult ones because right now, it is going down in Baltimore.